What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Koopa G. You know what I'm saying? And we're here again, a Koopa Keep Podcast Ep3. Had to bring my boy on. Needs no introduction. If you're in the Oklahoma scene, you know my man Rashard Hutchings. What's going on with you today, Brody? How are you, man?
What's going on with you, Coop? Man, I'm doing a lot better than what I was, and I appreciate the invite to the show.
Yeah, no doubt, man. You know, I had to bring you on the show, man. Getting back into the swing of it, the show was going on and we were catching a lot of momentum, but you hit me up. You was like, hey man, let's lock this episode in. So I was like, let's go ahead and do it. So here we are, Tuesdays. If you guys don't know, if you're in the chat right now, every Tuesdays, 7:00, you know what I mean? We try to come in here, at least talk a little bit, just talk about the Oklahoma FGC, just the FGC in general, but more so bring it around and kind of just keep it in the backyard, So I know like a lot of people know about you, bro, out here, obviously, if they, if they're in the scene, but just kind of talk to people and give them your gaming history, not so much game or entertainment, but just you playing video games and how you got into it. And then I guess you can gravitate and move on to how, the history of game over entertainment.
Well, my gaming history started at grandma's house with my cousins on the Nintendo. You know what I'm saying? Mario 3, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade game, running through those. And then I remember the first system that we personally got was the Sega with Sonic. Sonic came with it. We were in Germany. My dad went to the PX and brought home that Sonic. And, you know what I'm saying? That was my first personal system.
Yeah.
I didn't too much grow up with the Super Nintendo. I think at that time, it was like Sega. What came after that? It was like Sega, N64, and then it was to the PlayStation. Never looked back.
Mm-hmm.
And that's console-wise. I always been playing. Like I was playing the old school game days and Maddens, like back in the late '90s. Loved that MK3, the ultimate version, and those are just some of my favorites.
Okay, word. So obviously, you've already, had a love for video games, like kind of like how everybody does, like there's just always those certain games back in the day, whether it be the MK Marios that got you into it. So when did you come about, and when did you just get the interest in terms of like trying to throw like tournaments, and how did that come about, just getting into the scene and becoming a TO and having a brand and so on and so forth?
So I was already throwing tournaments back in high school. Like we were doing the whole NCAA joints. Like we just did a big tournament every year. It came out once we got the. That's back when you had to send off the memory card to a random person with $5 in there, and then they'll put all the names on there because NCAA used to just come with the numbers.
Yeah.
And once we got the names back, we would do like a big tournament, even at school or just amongst the boys. That's where it started. We did a little bit of tournaments as fundraiser events with my fraternity and college back when I was going to Langston University. But then, the whole GOE experience, that was 2005. I think me, Jason, and at the time it was Charles and a couple of other people got together and we wanted to do tournaments. We really want to do Madden and 2K tournaments, to be honest. I'm not even going to cap. So this is like February 2015. So, we're planning, we're, getting the PlayStations, getting everything. And then I think MKX was going to drop in April. It was like April 25th, 2015. I remember all of these
2015, man.
So it was like, yeah, because this is what formed us, you know what I'm saying? So it had to be like the beginning of March. We're like, man, let's do an MK. We're trying to gear up for Madden 2K. That's not until the fall. Let's do an MK tournament. So we started getting all of that together, finding a venue. I already had access to the, this is in Tulsa, the North Side YMCA. So we had that for a highly discounted price. And then I know for that event, because mind you, we were still green. We didn't know too much.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what I would have went back and changed, but we had got Subway at a discount. So we had Subway there as a sponsor. And then I think we had about 8 setups, had everything ready to rock and roll. And that event was successful. We had 24 people. So that was our very first event on Saturday. That's where I met Jersey Man. That's where I met Red Soul, Crazy Clown. You know what I'm saying? That's where I met a whole lot of cats that I kept in contact with. And like I said, that event went good. We had a projector, shooting off the wall. And thinking back, we had everything going good except for a stream.
Yeah.
One thing I would have went back, because, what I'm saying, I know that was a niche game. I probably would have had like 1 or 2 more games out there to try to get more people to come since we had that venue. But that was the first event. And like I reiterate, like we were just really go focus on sports games.
Yeah.
But that was my first time like at a live FGC event that wasn't outside the stream. And the passion, I love how people kept, even when they lost, they kept playing, trying to learn in the back and stuff like that. And that's what started making me fall in love with the FGC, because we fast forward and we threw that Madden event and it was a whole different flavor. Like it was like in there all or nothing, people leaving, getting mad. A lot of them people not trying to come back and get better.
Yeah. Okay, so that's cool, man. So obviously, that's probably around the time I had met you too, right? 2015, and I remember
it was later on that year.
Yeah, and then like I remember you invited me up, like, hey man, I didn't even know you at the time, and you were just like, you guys can come here and stay for free, like there's a tournament here, like as long as you're playing. So I definitely remember those days, and that was probably around the same time I was getting my foot in the door in terms of the FGC and things like that as well. So obviously you've had your foot in the game for a while, right? And I kind of talked to Warguts a little bit. He's like an he's like an up and coming TO and things out here. And I kind of, was like picking his brain and just touching him on things just, in the short time that he's had to be out here in the scene. So I guess I'll ask you what I asked him. What are some of the most, what is your biggest failure as a TO, and what did you learn from that experience throughout your years, just kind of being out here in Oklahoma FGC, or whether, traveling to other tournaments and events as well?
My biggest failure was running an event and depending on somebody else for too damn much. You know what I'm saying? And then after that, I'm not going into too much detail, but, after that, I learned to be able to survive without having certain things. And that was it. It was like pretty much leaning too forward and not having enough weight on my back foot.
Okay.
And, I just learned to, that's when we started gaining more gear ourselves, because it got to the point of, it's at least GOE, we got too dependent, like, oh, they're going to bring this. Even players, we expect them to bring this, bring that, instead of outright having it or having certain things. So we just need the bare minimum.
Okay.
So I think that'd be my biggest,
Yeah. So just trying to be just independent, you would say in terms of that.
More, it's okay to lean on the community and lean on individuals, but just saying, if they don't come through, what's that event gonna look like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So on top of that too, right? Like we like talked about just like, everything you've learned from these experiences, and obviously you've probably went to enough tournaments to where you've made these connections, right? I would imagine, just like, from going to Kumite, to going to all these events and helping out and things like that. So tell me about like the most influential people you've ever met in the esports industry, like, and it doesn't even have to just be so much the FGC. I know that's what you really specialize in, but if you just met anybody in general, that's just been in this field like you. Just tell me about like, your most influential people you've met and how they've impacted you in terms of trying to push your brand forward.
Right. My top 2 for organizers would be Ian with Kumite, and then Javier down there with Texas Showdown, for their individual reasons. Like Ian is real meticulous. He's real good at planning to where, I patent my scheduling off of him for the bigger events with the streams, especially with a one-day event, how we be doing with the waves and everything else and correcting it. Like I patent that straight off of Ian with the scheduling. And that's what, working with them, and then them throwing us in the Smash GG so we can see everything that's going on. That helps so much when we come back home and throw events.
Yeah.
Javier, I think he's more of a showman. You know what I'm saying? Like my man, every time on finals day, he dresses up regardless. You know what I'm saying? He busting out the blazers, slack. I don't think he wears a tie but the shoes, but he's just so smooth with it. You know what I'm saying? As far as getting it going. Even when stuff, and that's what I'm saying. When we work with them, the average person don't know the fires and stuff, like how, with both of them, it's just how I figured out my problem solving, and just being cool under pressure and everything like that.
Okay. I see, man. So that's crazy. I like to ask that question because it's like, a lot of times I think as players, not so much as just TOs. Like I kind of feel like I'm on both sides of it, right? Because
you are now, yeah.
I try, and I'm not, technically like, I just try to support the backyard. You know what I mean? So for me, I'm looking like to guys like you guys, you know what I mean? And I'm like, hey man, like what's the playbook if I'm going to go about trying to do something like this? I think I just kind of stick my toe in the water, but I'm not so much trying to just have it like you guys have it, but I try to help out. And I think player wise too, like I tell people all the time, like for me, just as a player, just like influential. I remember it was like my boy Ray Bone and Davidism and Pyrex Chef. Those guys were like, and even before that, like taking it back MKX, like, Light Skin Avatar, Bear Claw, those were the guys I got into it with, and
tell my man quit changing his name.
So many names, right? Like, shout out to my boy. But those guys are like the guys that I kind of came up with and were like doing it with, you know what I mean? And then when they kind of just drifted off and were like, life happens, they're like, they went and did their own thing. And I met up with like some new guys in Tekken, and like Raybone and like going to see Akash. I remember like seeing him play like for the first time in Dallas. Like that was amazing to me because the history of Texas and Oklahoma, and then like for him to go down there and just win, and we're in their backyard. I'm like, well, damn, like
and say, I'm at home, and Ricky hit me up. He's like, man, an Oklahoma player just won, the Red Bull event. I'm like, who? And it's like Akash, and I was like, does he come to the events? He's like, no, that was a whole different ordeal there. But that was just cool to have somebody in our backyard that was holding it down.
Yeah, it was like kind of iconic in a way, like because we had just been out here for so long, and like, I mean, if you've been out here, the story. So like to just finally take home that dub, like that was crazy. Like it had an influence on my game because I was just like, damn, like I thought there was like, I was seeing like the top of the top, but then I seen him and it was almost like just like that next level. And you're like, damn, like, well, that's just crazy, man. So I asked that question just as that, man. But moving forward, right? Because I don't want to get kind of, stuck on one thing. I kind of want to bounce. I know I don't have you for very long, and I appreciate everybody in the chat hanging out with your boy right now on the Koopa Keep Podcast. So I know you're just your most recent tournament, right? Like we just had one in Lawton here. The what was it? The All Esports Expo, if I'm not mistaken. Kind of talk to me about that and like tell me how that was ran. Give me like some pros and cons of it. Like, what did you think went successful? Like,
this is about to be long review. Okay, so when it first popped up, I think I found out just like everybody else. Well, I guess it was the player down there. Can you help me out with his name?
Who's that? With
the one who works at the casino, but he's down there in Lawton, but he reposted the flyer in the group. That's how we all found out.
Okay, I don't know who you're talking about. I like see me. I'm just from there, so people were inboxing me like you coming. So like But go ahead.
But anyways, what I'm saying, it was like a month and a half out from the event when they posted it. Like, and that's when it got posted into our group, the OKFGC. So I clicked on the page, and that's when the casino posted it the same day. And I was highly frustrated. This is remind you, this is the same event they were trying to throw right before COVID happened, but they did all that promoting, then they just stopped talking about it altogether.
Okay.
So they posted. First thing I did was go straight to the page, went straight to the post. You can go back and look now. Like, I was like, hey, can you guys start promoting this a little bit better? You know what I'm saying? Basically saying Lawton needs a win because we've been talking about doing stuff down there all the time and was unsuccessful with doing it. But now we got, this type of event that is being put on in Lawton with a lot of money behind it, but you're not really promoting it.
Yeah.
Uh, I think, shoot, we take like for our events, we want to promote like at least 5.5, 6 months out. You know what I'm saying? We got 3,500, 5,000. They got over 20,000 promoting it a month out. You know, for one, that's like you not taking it serious. Like, do you not want people out there? Period. And you know what I'm saying? So we were just at first we were just going to ignore it. You know what I'm saying? Let them promote or whatever, but not be a part. But I think y'all know Johnny Weaver. It's my boy. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people feel some type of way about him. I still fuck with him. But he reached out to me. I think he just got done doing the one in Kansas City. Or no, it was Nebraska.
Okay.
And he was telling, and then he kind of gave me some of the insights on it because, you know, they were for people to come out. They were paying your mileage. They were putting you in a hotel. They
Yeah.
were giving you per diem per day and giving you an hourly wage. Uh, and then it didn't sound too bad. So plus it was like a trip to Lawton. I ain't seen my family in a minute, so it was like a free trip home. So
Okay.
I kind of sat on it for like 3 weeks, and then you know I tried to get my boy down there and Lawton to do it with me. Uh, but they had a couple of events down there where I guess you know COVID was breaking out. So, and I think it was you or somebody else told me he already had a respiratory issue. So you know he wanted to be hands off with it. But I really want to get down there with him so we can go over a few things. So when the events start busting down there again, because I know it's going to happen eventually down there in Lawton, because Cameron University is being more active with what they're trying to do. At least the club down there and inviting people out to it. But like I said, I marinated on a few weeks. You know, some people didn't even want me to work it. They just want them to lay flat on their face. But I was like, you know, the event can lay flat on his face. But why does the FGC have to fail? Just in case somebody we don't know comes out of town and have a bad experience. Like we tell y'all all the time, they're not going to blame that organization. They're going to blame Oklahoma. So they come, throw their event, leave, go back wherever, and we got to deal with the aftermath. Because we might go post in another state's Facebook or Discord like, nah, we went to an Oklahoma event. It was trash. Why would we come back? So, you know, I went there just for the sake of making sure the event was going to run smoothly, regardless of how they had it going.
Okay.
Uh, I didn't get to touch any of the logistics. I gave them the list of games that we needed. I tried to cut 2 games and put more money on other games, but they just let this spread out. I ain't gonna name any games in case I make somebody mad. But leading up to the week of, I did the TO show the Friday before, told them what the games were and everything, and then one of the players actually inboxed me and said, "Hey, you know I'm on the website. Tekken ain't on there," and that was sexy. Sexy came and told me that. He was like, and you know, I really didn't know him at the time, but he jumped in my inbox. He was like, "Hey, Tech is not on there. You know, you said Tekken was on there with the list of games I gave." So I said, "Cool." You know, I reached out to my contacts and everything, and to come to find out, they took Tekken and Soul Calibur off. And he tried to say he took them off from our conversation. I was like, "Nah, you heard me wrong.
Yeah.
Those were not the games I was trying to take out." So, but they were able to that same day, within a couple of hours, get Tekken back on there on the website for people to pre-register and put the 500 back on there. And you know, he came back to me and told me thank you, you know, for responding quick. You know, that felt good. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, although I'm not a player in the FGC community, you know what I'm saying, I'm still out here for the players. I'm not out here for the money. We talk about that later, but I'm out here for the players. I would think about if I was in that predicament, you know, how would that experience feel for me?
Okay.
That's the leading up to it. The production and everything, you know, Midwest Esports, the company that was doing it, they go under a different name, but at the end of the day, it's Midwest Esports. Their production game stepped up like 1,000%.
Okay.
Place was lace. It was good. I think I had a couple of issues with a couple of consoles, like the DLC wasn't always, you know, they were missing like 1 or 2 characters. It wasn't like it was vanilla and anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, but playing out the top four is trash.
Yeah, I see the comments too, man.
Yeah.
See y'all in the comments. Appreciate y'all coming by. Look, I'm gonna jump on those comments at the end of the stream. I'm gonna just let it rock, and I'm
All
gonna
right,
come
yeah,
back
it
and
caught me,
call
it
it
caught
out.
me
You
out. That's all I seen.
know what I'm saying?
But the production and everything was good. They had, to me, and I told them we'll talk about it later, some of the logistics was messed up. So as a TL standpoint, we had the most popular game right now, Guilty Gear. It was my first game, but it ran side by side with Smash. At this event, you paid your $30 to get in the door, and you can sign up for any game. They got over 30 tournaments. You can sign up for it. So mind you, I had like at least 5 players out of a 24, 25 man bracket that was playing Smash.
Okay.
Smash was already running an hour late. I started on time. I started on time to the fact, I had to call some people over. It's like, oh, we thought you were going to be running late because Smash was running late. Like, nigga, we don't operate like that. I know the time. But we ended up running long on that because we had players playing Smash. They got over 60 people, trying to yell out and stuff like that. So I think the logistics would have been better if he would have put like an MK or a Street Fighter the same time as Smash. As a TO thinking, you know what I'm saying? Because really, less of those players will go play Smash, and it's probably going to be smaller numbers, so we could just knock them out.
Yeah.
So I was frustrated with little stuff like that because I had no control over it. And, that's the thing. When it's not your event, you kind of just got to fall in line and deal with it and just get it over with. But, yeah, that was a little bit about the tournament. I think I was kind of frustrated listening to some of the podcasts that some people said they didn't know about it. I was like, are you not in the FGC group? I made at least 5 or 6 posts and did a whole stream just for it that was linked to the FGC group. But at the same time, I didn't promote it too hard, and they hit it right on the head. You know what I'm saying? I don't want y'all thinking it was my event. If stuff went left
Yeah.
and it did what it did. Plus, the way I got paid, I promoted it the way I got paid. So
Yeah. Okay. I got you, man.
I wasn't getting paid to be a promoter. Basically, is what I'm saying.
I understand. So you pretty much just say like for the most part, from what I gather from that, it's more so like the production game definitely has stepped up in terms of that, and obviously the games could have been promoted a little bit better, the event could have been promoted a little bit better, which
Most
like
definitely.
I feel like that's like a common thing, like that seems to be when organizations come that's like a thing that kind of where I wouldn't say so much drop the ball, but where a lot of organizations struggle is just in the promotion aspect of just like promoting their tournaments. Not all, but some, that come out here. And
but in that caliber, they could have been on the radios. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
They could have been in some other places, and they could have started earlier. But I know the thing with them is they have like a season, so it was like at least 6 events that were back to back to back to back, skip a week, and then another one.
Okay.
So, I mean, I would expect that, but, that organization's big enough, money's flowing, they could just have somebody over that as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
And get it done.
Okay. I got you, man. So,
yeah.
All right, overall, it sounded pretty cool. So, like, I guess that brings me to my next question, like when I kind of want to, I guess, talk to you about in terms of that, right? Like, so obviously we talked about the production and everything like that. And, I talk about this on the show all the time, but it's just, I feel like it's kind of just hard not to talk about it, right? Is just, in terms of like COVID-19 and the way it's just affecting the FGC and things like that. So kind of talk to me about, like what was in place in terms of like, I guess, keeping players safe in terms of that tournament, right? And, obviously recently, like, on other shows, we've gotten into the debates about, players traveling and, like with Lawton, just recently, like in the articles, we talked about it on the last show. I don't know if you heard, like Alan Lawton, they're like having tents outside at the, Comanche County Memorial
And
Hospital.
I seen the article too. So
yeah. So it's real crazy. It's they're definitely crazy times that we're living in. So as a TO, right? Do you think it's okay to be running events now in this pandemic in terms of just the numbers? I mean, if you see in the bottom below in the scrolls, like since March, we got 585 cases since March in Lawton, and just Lawton, not Lawton, Oklahoma alone, so that's a pretty big number, pretty significant number. And if so, like what steps do you think organizations need to take to keep their players safe? And do you think that they're doing a good job in terms of doing so?
Right. So I'm going to start it back at the event we were at. which they kind of made me frustrated because, I was pretty much the liaison to anybody who had questions to who wanted to go to the event. Talking about the casino event, they told me it was going to be mask required by everyone. And then we're setting up. It's about to be the next day before, and it was like, oh, only the staff is required. It's just heavily encouraged for the participants to come. So, of course, there was like 25% of the people didn't have masks on. But, they had sanitizer out there and everything else. I know we're in close confined area, but I was just talking about this with my roommate. It's Sunday, Saturday, we watching football. These stands are packed. You know what I'm saying? And don't no one got a mask on. So it's just like, it's just real frustrating because, when you throw an event, you don't want to be that event to where 4 or 5 people get sick. And you know what I'm saying? To us and our growth and stuff like that, that would kill you. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's going to be like, oh, we got sick at Super Bit Wars, we're not going back type shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like walking on skates. I think with us, you know what I'm saying? You can't force somebody to get vaccinated, but I think with us, like it would have to be you mandate the mask. By this time, everybody should be able to wear a mask. You know what I'm saying? And, just to open up and be honest, like some of my views on COVID have dramatically changed in the last 3 weeks because, I got popped. We discussed this a little bit. And, when you get COVID at first, it almost feel like you got an STD. You don't want to tell nobody, like, oh, you know what I'm saying? And just going through that experience, by the second week, because I'll be open again. Like, I wasn't vaxxed. I would be hand sanitizer, face mask. I still took it serious, but I didn't respect it the way I respect it now. Going through that, getting burned by the fire, actually having them breathing problems, cold sweats, body aches, you know what I'm saying? Like lungs full of cold to where I'm spitting up snot, a solo cup, filling it up, once a day. So I personally don't want to travel until I get my second shot. It's not going to stop me from living, though. I'm going to go ahead and say that. But, like, taking it more serious, being more cognizant of my surroundings. But I just wish everybody is dealing with COVID would just take it more serious. You know what I'm saying? It's not a game. I play, for me to say that, I feel like looking back, I played around a little too much and, like, totally got a different respect for it.
Okay. So, I mean, obviously, like you just saying like here, like, so, you like gotta, like do you think like, obviously, you got the virus and things like that, right? You had got COVID, you experienced it and, you dealt with all this. Do you think this was something that came from like this tournament that you came to? Like, do you know, like if you had to pinpoint it back, like where do you think initially, like you were starting to first see those symptoms? Was it after that tournament or was it?
This like 4 weeks after the fact. I think, to be honest, because I wear my mask everywhere. To be honest with you, I probably got it at Walmart. I didn't come home, wash my hands. I'm a big nigga. I'm pretty sure it came through me inserting something through my mouth. Like I didn't sanitize my hands or something. I'll probably most likely call it Walmart because, I'm out and about. I'm pretty active. The weekend before I went to the tournament, I was at a backpack drive, you know what I'm saying? I spent like 5 or 6 hours out there handing out gloves, mask on, everything. You know what I'm saying? When I was feeling bad, I was feeling a little bad before the tournament. And I went to urgent care and I went to go take one of the rapid tests and it came back negative. So, by then the tournament, I think I started getting, so we reported to the tournament about Tuesday. I didn't start really getting shaky till like Saturday night. You know what I'm saying? But I never outright was just full blown black. I was just tired. My body was weak. It was when I came back from the tournament and it was that week after and I'm at work and stuff and we're going through training is when I started like going through everything. Like the full body sweats, the full body aches, you know what I'm saying, the coughing, all of that stuff. you know. So I think it kind of like bridged over. And
Okay.
then talking with a lot of my nursing friends and stuff like that, they said I probably had a false negative or false positive or whatever, false negative reading, you know, the week before because the rapid test isn't 100% this, that, and the other. So it was
Okay.
a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But I feel personally it had to be like me being out and about, touching something, and didn't wash or sanitize my hands. I don't
Okay.
think it really came directly from somebody. And you know, just looking back, because while you down for them weeks, you got time to think all day.
Yeah,
So
just
you know,
reflect.
everybody I was around, close proximity and stuff like that, everybody else was good to go.
Okay.
So
I got you. So, like having dealing with that, and I'm glad you're okay, man. I'm glad you're able. I appreciate your honesty, and I'm glad you're able to come on the show and just kind of
I
talk
spoke
about
with
your.
my mom. I spoke with my mom. Sorry, to cut you. I spoke with
No,
my
no, no.
mom
You're
about
fine.
this. You know, about talking about it because I didn't want to talk about it, but she said just talk about it because it's gonna be somebody out there who might be dealing with the same thing, and if you talk about it, they might go get themselves taken care of. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
and that's I guess I kind of where I was like going with that. I think it's very important to have these conversations, right? And to talk
Mm-hmm.
about it. I mean, like even though, like you said, like it's like, man, I don't want to be the guy to tell somebody like, hey, I had COVID, man. But I think it's very important to just at least give the people that you were around, possibly a heads up because like, you may not know who they be, you may not know who they'll be around, and then like
Right.
they might feel like they don't want to put anybody at risk and they may feel like they need to go get a test just to reassure that they're okay, and then like
Right.
but I mean, obviously, you've been through that. You like you said, you like that time you were down and out. You had a lot of time to reflect and kind of just think about this. But I'm glad that you were able to just come on the show and just talk about this because I think it's a thing, honestly, in the FGC. Like, I get it, man. Like, we're all anxious to get back out here, right? I am. I think a lot of players are. I think TOs. Like the future of just the esports. Like, we're all ready to get back into it, but at the same time I mean, like I'm just speaking for esports and the Oklahoma FGC, and granted, like you said, you turn on the TV, you see these sports games, you see all these people without a mask. Does that? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, like obviously, like you see that on TV now, and having this, that does that change your perception about just like like people not taking this seriously? Does that not? I know for some people that pisses people off. I know, like me, just
Right.
having a nurse as a girlfriend, like like um it's definitely something I'm like, wow, like I just don't. I think it's one of those things where people just don't. They don't really, I think, take it serious until it really affects them or affects somebody do they know. But would you agree
Think,
on that?
think
Like,
that's think that's what it is because that's what happened to me. You know what I'm
okay,
saying? I respected it, but didn't take it serious till it popped me. And it was about the third week. By the third week, I think I was probably COVID free, but my body was so weak. My body was like super weak to where I felt like I was rehabbing every day, just trying to get up and walk around. I had
damn,
lost I lost 22 pounds because I couldn't eat. You know what I'm saying? And when I didn't have any taste buds and couldn't taste as a big nigga, you know what I'm saying? That was it for me. I was already upset. Like I was mad at the world when I couldn't taste or anything. But by that time, when you're eating, you're just eating to nourish your body. And I'm realizing I don't even like half the texture of these foods that I was eating because
yeah,
I was still eating the same. I really didn't switch the diet up and didn't like the textures. I'm like, I'm only eating this because it tastes good.
yeah,
And I ended up eating like a lot of fruit and vegetables, and then like chocolate granola bars because that's what I started tasting first. Like I could literally eat fruit and vegetables and granola bars and couldn't taste nothing else. And then when I could start tasting meat again, all the meat was salty to me. So I didn't even eat meat for like a week and a half.
yeah,
But lost a lot of weight. That last week, like literally just last week, my body was, even though I was like COVID, my body was weak, and I still had congestion in my lungs. When I went to urgent care last week, my lungs were inflamed. They said I had pneumonia now. So like it shifted to that. So I had to take antibiotics for that. I had to finish taking the cough syrup and taking Mucinex. So I just literally got over this all the way fully. Like this past weekend, I was kind of moving around and stuff like that. Chris invited me out, and I was moving around, but I was like walking like an old man, like I needed
yeah,
a cane type deal.
yeah,
So I think people aren't gonna fully respect it for the ones who don't. until something happened to them or someone close to them. Unfortunately, I hate to say that. And you know what I'm saying? Everybody's body doesn't react to COVID the same way.
Yeah.
I was blessed. I never had to go to the hospital. I literally just stayed in the bed, curled up, popping meds on an empty stomach, trying to use the bathroom. Like I don't
Just
wish that on no one.
a rough experience, man.
Right,
So I mean,
right.
it just does not sound good by any means at all. And like I said,
So
I wouldn't. I'm sorry you had to go through that, man. I'm sorry you had to deal with
we
that. But
made it.
but at the same time, yeah, I'm glad we're able to just have this talk and talk about it. So from that, like just moving on and asking you as a organizer, right? Like just CEO out here in the Oklahoma FBC, has
Mhm.
that changed? We talked about your personal perspective. You like, how like, you don't really think about it until it affects you or somebody, as a tournament organizer in terms of like keeping players safe. Has that changed your perspective in like the FGC and just, throwing these events? Like if you were to throw an event now, would you just have it to where like it was just like 100% like, hey, you're not coming in here with no mask, like it just
We've been
perspective.
on that. Yeah, we've been on that from the go. No, no mask. Like stop. It was kind of getting lax. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then the variant came out, and then it kind of spiked up. But I think we just need to stay on the mask. It should by this time we're a year and a half in. Like wearing a mask shouldn't be an issue. Like I said, you can't force somebody to get vaxxed or tell them to show proof that they're vaxxed. But we're gonna make the environment safe as we can. And I'm just gonna say, you can't stop living. I know you can't live in fear. You're not living at all. But for me, it's like keeping the events manageable, to where people are spaced out, you know what I'm saying? Maybe have an eating area separate to where they can go eat and everything, take their mask off. But not gonna stop living. Now I don't know if y'all got a good memory. A week or two before I got sick, I made a post like, hey, do y'all want a King of the Sticks this year? And got pretty good feedback and everything, but halfway through that shit got scrapped. I was like, no, 2022, we cool. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to deal, and I don't want at this time going through that. I didn't want to deal with the amount of people and subjecting that amount of people to you know, could be the virus to get sick, because I said that's a death to an organization. King of the Sticks, throw it. 5 or 6 people pop up. We got sick. We got sick at King of the Sticks. That could be detrimental, even when stuff start becoming regular again.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely, man, when it comes to that. So I mean, like I'm like I think everybody just kind of has their own view on it, right? And I definitely respect that. If you're gonna travel, just make sure you're taking precautions, right? Don't try to
Mm-hmm.
just put yourself in harm's way. Again, I think you made a valid point with that. Some people like they just can't. It's not like the world is just gonna stop. Like people got jobs they gotta go to, people got things they have to go take care of. The world is still gonna turn. People have to just adapt, but adapt in your own way. If you don't feel comfortable going to events, don't feel forced to go to these events. Okay. Like,
Right.
if you want to go, just take precautions. And just to me, I just say just be considerate of other people's situations. You know what I mean? I'm like, if you're gonna go, just do what you can to try to keep yourself safe, and maybe somebody that really is concerned safe, while washing your hands. They say washing your hands is very important. Like wash your hands, like have that, like really be on people's heads about that, wearing masks, like doing the right thing. And to each his own, man. People are going to do what they're going to do regardless. But
Exactly.
again, man, I'm just glad that you're on the show, able to talk about this and kind of just give some feedback, because I think it's something that's just not talked about a lot in the FGC, and like we know it's like a thing in the world, right? But like, how does it affect us? How does it affect tournaments? How does it affect the players, and so on and so forth?
Right.
So I'm glad we were able to like kind of talk about that, man. And yeah, for this part of the set, this part of the stream, like I know we got the Buffalo Brawl coming up. If you guys don't know, thank you guys for tuning in to the Koopa Keep podcast. If you're watching again, we got the Buffalo Brawl coming up. That's a weekly that's going on every Tuesday here, starting at 8 o'clock in the Oklahoma FGC. I'm gonna host this. I'm gonna host that actually after this podcast is done. So if you guys stick around here, you don't have to go anywhere. I'm gonna raid that stream, and you guys can check out some Oklahoma tech and from some of the guys here in the scene. They'll have some commentary, so on and so forth going on. And for this around this time, I want to just take some questions in the chat. If you guys have any questions or anything in the chat, you guys can go ahead and drop that while I get into the bonus round with my man Rashard. Right, the bonus round, man, is just all right. Like, this is just your flavor, okay? These are things that just you like. I'm just gonna give you the questions, man, and you just give me the first thing that comes to mind, or what you're feeling or what you're digging. Okay.
All right.
So bonus round, easy money right now, right? So top 3 fighting game characters of all time. You only can pick 3 of them. Who you taking, man? Who you got?
Man, we got Chun-Li because of the thighs. You know what I'm saying? Liu Kang because he's a GOAT. Dang, hold on. Wait a minute,
tough,
Katie.
Right? Every time, man. It stumps everybody, man. It's
okay. I'm going to take Skate off of Streets of Rage 3.
Okay.
I'm going to go left on that one.
That's fire, though. That's throwback. You know what I mean?
Yes,
that's
sir.
What people know about that. So you said what? Chung-Li.
Yeah, Liu Kang, because he's always the champ, even when he's dead.
Okay, yeah. And Skate from Streets of Rage, right? That's what we're taking? Top 3.
Yes, sir.
There. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that top 3. That's not a bad top 3 right there. All right, man. My next question for you, right? I ask Wargus these questions, some of these questions as well, but I just like to get the flavor from everybody, man. You got to get that flavor. If you were on an island, right?
Okay.
You were on this island by yourself.
By myself. That might
you
be
can
a little tricky.
You can only bring 3 original soundtracks from any game, right? Before I was narrowing it down like fighting games, right? But 3 OSTs from any type of game, man. What are you bringing?
Man, and like I said, because I had that Sega first when I had it, but that Sonic 2 soundtrack kind of goated. I ain't gonna lie to you, especially when you get to the casino. So we're gonna go Sonic 2. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go back to Streets of Rage 3 because that soundtrack kind of good.
Okay.
And what we got? Dang, just put on the spot, make it hard. I'm gonna go Killer Instinct because this last one, the way they in tuned it with the fighting and how it stopped and the remix and shake you up.
Yeah.
I'll be vibing with it, even if you're not playing. Like it's an experience.
Okay. That's not a bad soundtrack.
I'm trying to think out of the box for you. I'm trying to think out of the box.
Look, and let me tell you, at any point in time, you feel like you want to go back and change any of those, you can let me know, man.
I'm solid. It come out my mouth. That's what it is.
Because sometimes I'll be thinking, I'm like, hold on, man, let me switch that with that. Because 3 is just not enough sometimes. Like, I understand that. So that could be a thing, man. All right. That's I respect that. Okay. So my next question to you, right? And granted, I know you're old school. Like you come from that era, like we come from, right? Like
80s baby, yes,
80s
sir.
babies, the classics. You grew up in the arcades. So I gotta ask you, man, are you going with arcade cabinets or consoles, man?
And what aspect?
Just like if you had to like go back and I guess relive in an era, right? Like we could just talk about like how arcades were just popping back then before the console era. What did you spend more time in the arcades playing arcade games, or were you like a console kid growing up? Which one would you, if you had to just pick one and stick with it and roll with it, and the era, I guess we'll say, like what era would you like to be in terms of that?
The era when I started playing games kind of leaning towards console kids, but I will never forget the experience. This is back in Germany, when I was little. I started school over there and everything. Military brat is walking to the bowling alley and asking my mama for quarters and getting on a Street Fighter 2 cabinet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Could barely see up there. And I used to love the hell out of Dasim because he was just reaching across and I could cheese the computer. But I didn't know how to get none of the specials out, even though my dumb little ass is right there on the cabinet. You can just look down. But the nostalgic, like I would love to have 4 or 5 cabinets in my house and like in the cave, because it's just a nostalgic. It's just fun to get up there and play. I think for me right now, console is all business, when you get on there. But if I'm having a party or get together, them cabinets gonna go a longer way than the consoles will.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, man. I'm not mad at that. Okay, so so let me piggyback on that question a little bit. So if you had to have, you said you had to have three, you'd have to have some cabinets in your house. And granted, if you guys are still tuning in, and you're watching, again, you guys can ask questions because I'm going to address some of those questions. I want to kind of give some questions for the chat to Shard, and have him answer just from you guys' point of view as viewers, So if you have anything, feel free to ask while we're here. But Shard, if you had to have three cabinets in your house, right? Like three of them. Like what cabinets are you taking, man? Let me know.
I might go steal your NBA Jam one. That's the first one.
That's my shit, man.
If I had three, you know what I'm saying, I would have. It's basically the same game. It's two games, but it's basically one game. So I would have the Ninja Turtle arcade game, and then the Simpsons beat 'em up game. I had to have that like a combo set.
That's tough, man.
Right. Street Fighter Super Turbo, because that was like the first one I touched. That would like bring back feels every time I get on there. And then I would have Miss Pac-Man, because that's my mama's favorite game.
Okay. That's pretty good, man. That's cool. See, I'm kind of like mixed on that, right? Because there was like not so much fighting games, but like I just went to when I would go to the arcade, there were just games there that I remember always playing. Like I remember the Tekken 3 machine. That was definitely like one of those machines.
That was different.
Damn, like I go to up down and I play that cabinet, right? It's just like so much fun. But like at the time, I didn't know what I was doing. Everybody just picked Law, Eddie Gordo, thought she was the truth, But that Tekken 3 cabinet, man, the House of the Dead, that was definitely my.
That the shooter.
Yeah, the House of the Dead.
Oh, you taking me back now. So do you remember that? Do you remember at CC Pizza in Lawton when they had that Die Hard 2 game? That was like an arcade game.
Yeah.
Hey, that fire. I need that emulator. That was fire.
Just classic, right? Like
right.
So like I would probably have something like that. And my third, that's pretty tough, man. Because it's so hard, right? Like I know we saw somebody in the chat, my man David, Capcom vs SNK2. That was fire. That was a fire cabinet. That was a really good cabinet as well. But for me, man, I can't even give you a third. That's how hard. That's how tough that is, man. That's three cabinets. Wow. Probably the NBA Jam. I'll probably just keep it at the NBA.
You already got it, yeah.
I got it. You know what I mean? So I'm playing it.
Were you old enough when the skate arena was open?
Yeah.
Okay, and they had that Tekken 3 cab in there.
They had the Tekken 3. They had the Metal Slug. They had the Metal Slug cabinet in there. I remember that.
That's why I played. That's why I first played that Simpsons beat 'em up. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, classic.
That's what's up.
Okay, man. All right. So moving on from that, right? Who is your? Oh no. That's the next question. I gotta slow it down a little bit. I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay. So check us out, man. PC, PS4, Xbox, or Nintendo, man? Who you rolling with and why?
Which Nintendo? Just like the Switch?
We'll say like the newest editions of these consoles. Yeah. So technically that would be the Switch for Nintendo.
So I get to pick two because you automatically got to have a Switch for when you're on the road. Now let me pick. I'm switching up the game. I'm switching up the game. Nope. But
that's because you're a TR, I'll give you two. But
I appreciate that. So you need a Switch because you mobile. You can go anywhere. The kids get the TV. I'm a dad too. The kids take the TV. I can just get the Switch, pick up, go sit on the couch, handle my business. But the thinking man out of the other three, you know what I'm saying? Why not get the PC? Because you can finagle all the other games on your PC. So you'd be dumb to pick another one.
Hey, man, look. Thank you, bro. Okay.
Thank
you for having a brain, bro. All right. I talk these all the time, man. You get right. All in one. It's all in one package. You get emulators. You can go back, play the classics. Like, granted, some of them don't run like how they ran back in the day. Sometimes
you can't play online on half of them, but still, you got access to it.
Yeah, you got access to it. So like definitely, man. It's a better bang for your buck. And when it comes time to upgrade, it's just I feel like you get more out of it. You don't have to spend as much money as you do paying for these consoles every 3 or 4 years, or however long they stay out. Then you're paying what's the PS5 right now? $700-$800. Like
it's still $499. They just had a couple of drops a day. You just got to be patient. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like when it first comes out, people dropping it. People trying to get them like hotcakes. Like
oh yeah,
here's $1,000. Give it to me. You know what I mean? Like So I don't know, man. I think just I would rather me personally, I'd probably just put that on a graphics card and just upgrade every few years. But to each his own. Like if you like exclusives, I know I get it. Some people like, the PlayStation or the consoles strictly for those like, sports games. People buy those for those. They don't like playing sports game on PC. I understand that. So or exclusives, whatever the case may be. So okay, man. All right. I gave you two. I technically wasn't supposed to.
I appreciate it.
But I gave you two, I gave you the homie hookup here at the Koopa Keep Podcast.
Hey.
So, all right, man. All right, next question, man. Who is your favorite esports player and why? And this could be from like FPS to FGC to wherever. You know what I mean? Just kind of give me that. I won't even say favorite. We'll say top three. Top three. I'll give you a top three. I gave you two consoles. I'll give you three players right here.
Okay. Top three. I'm gonna go hometown first in Oklahoma. Sexy's one of my new favorite players. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
just for him.
Man, Sexy. You know what I'm saying? Get your flowers, dog. Get your flowers, dog.
I'm gonna say because you know what I'm saying. He came. He watched the stream. He identified it was a problem. I fixed it. He told me thank you. That was regular. He was pretty good and attentive at the tournament when I was calling names. I had to look for him. And then when we came back in somebody else's stream, he mentioned me and told me, and try to say what I did, went out my way and got that done. That went a long way. And then I think he came up here to check out War Guts, what I'm saying, earlier this week. So that let me know he's serious, what I'm saying, trying to expand and he wants to play games. So he's one of my new favorite players in the state.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm mad Coop ain't on there, but it's all right, man. It's all right.
But Coop, I see you more on the organizer side now. You know what I'm saying, and more on basically reporting. Giving us the dish. So I don't look at you as a player like that anymore. You kind of crossed over for me.
Okay.
You can still play and dabble though, but you know what I'm saying. You more organizer. Podcaster. What's the dish? You know what I'm saying? When Coop go live, I'm tuning in.
I appreciate that, man. That's love.
Okay.
I appreciate it. Go ahead. Continue the list.
We'll go more on the national level. I'm just a Punk fan. You know what I'm saying? Man, when that nigga fucked up at Evo, I was kind of teary eyed when he messed up. But I just love.
He said they can nerf my character, but they can't nerf my skill.
Hey, my man sound like a DVC character, but I just love, how he carry himself. You can't beat me, but you know what I'm saying? It was like a little kid crying in a puddle when he lost to Evo. And I was hurt. And you know what I'm saying? That just made me love him more to want him to win. You know what I'm saying? I just want him to push and get over the top.
Yeah.
And another player, let's see. Player. It's a player that sticks out to me. I don't know. This is old school. I just like J1. My boy got that 10 racks them other days. You know what I'm saying? J1 is still... J1 ain't won no championships in the last 10 years, and that nigga's still popular. That's like the MJ to me, right? In America, at least. That's like the MJ of the FGC.
Yeah. So, I got you, man. That's a respectable list. That's very respectable.
Shout out to Sexy again. I appreciate you, bro.
Hey,
keep doing your thing.
You repping the hometown, baby. So I ain't mad at that. That's right. Legit. Like as a TO, I feel like being from here, you gotta have somebody from your backyard in your hometown. You gotta have that.
I'm watching them. I want to see them get better. I'm watching you, bro.
Yeah. Okay. And finally, man, my final question for you here, man. What is your favorite thing about the OKC FGC, man? If you had to have that and kind of just talk on that and just elaborate on that a little bit.
Good, bad, or indifferent, how much we grew since I came in 2015. You know what I'm saying? Went from not having a steady stream to we got podcasts or we got vibes, even though some got lost in the wasteland in the gulags. Overall, we got it. And just the fact we have a platform to talk and people listen. And you know what I'm saying? Stuff going. We know a lot of negative things that happen over the year, but I'm just in tune with the growth. I'm glad the resurgence of people trying to push it and being involved and trying to do better. Right before COVID hit, we had groups traveling everywhere. getting better playing games, the camaraderie. So we just need to get right back there. I don't think anybody, time passed. What happened in the past, we can't fix it. So, push for, hopefully this COVID let up a lot. But that's it. I just love how much we grew. Like Texas is a big ass state, right? We got more chatter and stuff going on in our group than the Texans do. They get mad. They get mad. They asked Ricky to move down there plenty of times. Rashard, why don't you come down here and throw some tournaments? You know what I'm saying? Like plenty of times. As much love we get from Texas and the other states, but it's just the feels you get, and I just want to see it grow more. And that's why I'm saying, we pushing our events because I feel like the bigger they get, the more exposure we could bring to Oklahoma.
Okay, that's respectable, man. I think that's very respectable. It's a good analogy, good little summarizing, man. Good sum up there in terms of that, man. And that's the bonus round, man. I hope you enjoyed the bonus round. I like that segment, man. Definitely, it's just like the segment where I kind of just can have fun. I feel like it kind of just breaks the. Maybe I should do that early on in the stream. I don't know. I feel like it kind of just breaks the ice. You know what I mean? I just like, let me get that flavor. Let me see what you're working with, man. But look, listen, guys, like. All right, so that's the end of the show. You know what I'm saying? Koopa Keep Podcast episode 3. My man Shard on the show, man. Shard, look, again, I appreciate you coming out, man. I appreciate you sharing your opportunity, your time, your stories with the FGC, man, in terms of COVID, how you dealt with it, how you got over it. I'm glad you're in good hands now. I'm glad you're in good health. I definitely want to encourage you and to get on this forefront and encourage people to take this serious, and really push this movement in terms of like trying to keep this on board. Obviously, going through what you went through, I feel like you definitely are going to be on the forefront now in terms of trying to keep players safe and then just keep everything rolling and doing the best we can and maneuver throughout this pandemic, man. So again, I'm glad to have you on the show. Guys, if you're tuning in right now, we stream every Tuesday, 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock. Looking for another guest here. So if you ever want to be on the show, if you have anything you want to talk about, just let me know. We'll link that up. We'll get that tuned in. I'm here for the scene, just trying to bring you guys some news, some information, just some hot topics to talk about. If you guys have anything you ever want to talk about or think I should talk about on the show, you can drop that as well. You have any closing remarks for them here, Shard? And you can leave your socials or anything like that. Where can they follow you at, man? Instagram, so on and so forth.
Just any social media. If you do Game Over HD TV, you go find me. I'm behind. You know what I'm saying? And my comrades. I'm on. You can add me on Facebook, Rashard Hutchings. You know what I'm saying? It's the one with the blue ring and the blue circle on there with the silhouette with the big shoulders. You know which one it is. But that's pretty much it. You know what I'm saying? Just remain active. Appreciate my boy Coop for the platform. And y'all be safe out there.
Yes, sir. So we're going to go ahead and load this rocket ship up, man, as we speak. You know what I'm saying? War gut that's going on right now for the Buffalo Brawl. So I'm getting the ship ready, man. I hope you guys have got your ticket to the moon because we're about to blast off here. Take you guys to the Buffalo Brawl that goes down every Tuesday. So, again, I appreciate you guys coming by the show. We'll see you next Tuesday. And until then, y'all be safe and God bless. Peace. Cool, man. I think that's it. I don't know if they're still seeing us on the stream. I don't think so.
It's a live, so I ain't gonna say nothing crazy.
In that joint.